Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about the technical difficulties we are having. I don't know if it's on my end or my guest is in, but we are very sorry and we apologize for the technical difficulties tonight. And before we get back to Soke Hallman, I want to say we need to take a commercial break to hear a word from our sponsors. We will be right back.
Hi, Stephanie Ma here again with a special report from World Martial Arts Media about LegacyFightGear.com. Legacy Fight Gear is the official supplier to the world's oldest and most respected martial arts organizations. They have been manufacturing high-quality, affordable products for over 30 years. Visit their new online catalog at LegacyFightGear.com today. School owners who want to raise money for their teams can register to get a wholesale account and become a distributor for LegacyFightGear.com. Don't forget to like our official page at www.facebook.com/LegacyFightGear.
And we are back on World Martial Arts Radio Network with Soke Hallman. Hey there again, sir. I'm glad to have you back on the line.
Yes, glad to be back. I don't know what happened, but we're back with you. So let's proceed with this.
Absolutely. And before I lost you, we were getting into a depth discussion about that you were talking about that there is actually a requirement for kids in, I think you said China, for them to actually take a martial arts class in school, and I was mentioning that needs to happen here in the U.S.
Well, I mean, let me try to explain it this way. I know there is a difference between the Eastern and Western ways of thinking. Obviously, the same goes for medicine and so forth. However, I have seen it over my years in the martial arts, which totals close to 45 years, that the Orient still requires their physical activity when they go out for exercise to be martial art training.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they actually, whether it's China, Vietnam, Japan, or Korea, or whatever, that's what they put their students through on a daily basis. You know,
mm-hmm.
and I really, really adhere to that. I think it's great. I wish that America did the same thing. However, that's not what America was built around. But if it was left up to me and several grandmasters that could make the case, we would push towards getting that, you know, put in the curriculum for the activities for the American school kids. You know, I think it would catch on. You know, it's going to make them better, and I think it's going to stop a lot of this bullying around of what you see, people taking advantage of kids every day. Kids are bullied, they're beat up, they're hurt, they're stabbed, there's stuff like that. But if you've got kids out there studying martial arts, I mean, why do you think the Orient is ahead of us in that category?
Mm-hmm.
Simply because their students are not fearful of that. Let's put it bluntly. That's what it comes down to. And I would, I wasn't raised that way either. But the older I got and I got into martial arts, I stayed into it because I knew what it meant. I knew that it was effective and it was needed. And I've been to police, sheriffs and stuff like that, and actually told them that, why can't you make this mandatory for your curriculums for your in-service officers? Yeah. And they flat out said, look, my officers will tell you flat out that we're too old to do it and we're not going to do it. You can't make us do it. Well, there you go. I don't agree with that, but there's nothing I can do to enforce it. Yeah, I think it should be all over the world, Simple as that. That would take care of a lot of bullying.
I think so too, because I don't think it would be the complete answer to violence, but I think it would tone it down a lot.
It would, especially in school. That's the way I'm talking about. It's not going to stop MS-13 or people like that. That's a whole different avenue. But, growing up in school and being scared to walk home before people, jump you and beat you up and take your, book bag or whatever, that's going to stop, if you have that kind of training. It gives you the confidence to defend yourself. I wish it had been around during my years of coming through the grammar school to, middle school and high school and stuff like that. But once I got into it, I never left, and I know what it means.
Yeah, because what's funny, my mom used to tell me all the time, we used to be able to leave our doors unlocked at home, like when I was growing up. And that's, for me, honestly, I know she's speaking the truth, but for me personally, it's hard to believe because of the way this world truly is.
I remember the days to where we had what we call screen doors and porches, and people didn't call you and ask could they come over. They would just pull up in your front yard and honk their horns, and you walk out your screen door and say, hey, come on in. Everybody sit around. But that was a long time ago. And all the people listening to this that are my age and older understand that. I mean, because that was a given back then. But you can't do that no more. It's totally uncalled for. You got to make an appointment to come see your friends. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. As far as martial arts goes, like when did you first get interested in it, and did you ever get frustrated when you first started? Like, am I going to be able to do this, or was it just like instant for you and it just came to you naturally?
Well, I've studied like 5 different martial arts styles, and the first one I studied in was Northern style Shaolin Kung Fu. And it was a little bit too slow for me because back then it was during, while Bruce Lee was making his transition from Wing Chun over to his own art and learn to, go around the world and learn the different martial arts styles and stuff like that. And I give him the praise for this because he wasn't afraid of walking away and designing his own martial arts and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It didn't encourage me to design my own martial art. It encouraged me to understand that nobody has the right to govern you for what you study and what you teach. So what he did was, and you know the story of his background, he actually left the Chinese regiment and he was condemned and he was an outcast for years until he became famous for what he did. His movies and his martial arts skills and stuff like that made him famous. And then all of a sudden, since he became so famous, China invited him back in. Imagine that, you know. And all it was is they wanted the recognition for somebody that took a stand to do something right, you know, because he saw a flaw in what he was doing, you know. So did I, you know. I did the same thing. So, you know, I created my own martial art over the last, well, I mean, it's been around since 81, 82.
Oh,
know,
wow.
So that's a long time, you know. My martial arts been around a long time, and it is very versatile. And
Wow.
I don't discourage my students from studying other arts. I encourage it, because the more you have in your ability to defend yourself, the better off you are. The people that are out there, and I'll say this boldly, that say it's a conflict of interest for you to go study another art or become part of another association, to me, are just plain out jealous. Because that's not what it's about. We're not trying to pull you away from your art or your teacher.
So
We're
for
trying
example,
to expand your knowledge.
if I wanted to study judo, and then if I wanted to study Muay Thai, you would actually encourage that instead of saying, "Oh, you just need to study my style," and that's that.
Yeah, you got to look at it this way, Justin. Anybody that will tell you that, I mean, as long as you come back to class and go, you know, this is where I started, you know, sensei or master or whatever, you know, but I want to go learn how to compete in karate, or I want to learn, you know, Chinese kung fu or something like that, or, you know, I want to learn competitive judo or whatever, then go for it. That only makes you a better martial artist. If I treat you right and I respect you as much as you respect me, you're always going to know where your home is. You're always going to know where your original martial arts studied. It's the people that make these statements that it's a conflict of interest, or I don't believe you should do that. Yeah. Those are the ones that have the problem, you know, and that's the way I look at it. Like I said, my art is called Harmony of Arts. That means everything is included. Everything is included and accepted. So I don't care how good you get. You know where you started. You know how good a teacher I've been to you. If you go study something else, that's just going to make you better, period.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you'll be able to defend yourself in any way possible. That's just my opinion, and everybody can take that, you know, for food for thought and go with that.
Yeah, yeah. Now, do you think the martial arts will get better or worse as far as ego goes? For example, like I've seen some people say, "Oh, my style is better," and then they'll compete with each other. Like it's almost like politics, sir. Do you think it's going to get better, or do you think it's going to get worse? And what do you think that we need to do as a unity to fix some of these things?
You know, I couldn't wait, Justin, for you to ask that question. Here's the deal. You're right. It is politics, and it's based on that. This is why I say within my art, go study what you want to. Just show up for class once in a while and know where your home is, and, you know, you'll always respect me for teaching you what I have. I'm not going to tell you not to go learn another style. You know, if that's where you end up and you stay, so be it. I mean, that was your prerogative to do so. So I look at it this way. If a teacher actually tells you, don't you go study some other art, you got to stay with me, then they're limiting you and your knowledge to just them. And it's plain out jealousy, period. You know, and there is no one martial art better than the other. Look at it this way. Like I said earlier, the person that studies the art is the one that makes the art superior. Like, say, for instance, look how good Chuck Norris was in Tong Soo Do.
Yeah.
Look how good Bruce Lee was when he developed Wing Chun to Jeet Kune Do. Okay, do we have to really say that Jeet Kune Do and Tong Soo Do is the best martial arts in the world? No, it depends on the person's goals, and depends on their determination to be the best martial artist they can be. So whether it's Ida-Ru, whether it's Judo, whether it's, Krav Maga or whatever, become the best you can be. I mean, you're the person that makes your art superior, not the art itself.
Exactly, because
just that simple.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Because there's times that I've actually, unfortunately, seen that myself, where there's these martial arts masters that are really well known, and they've got ego problems, and I'm like, come on, man, we're supposed to be a unity. We're supposed to be one together. We're supposed to be a family, not putting each other down, not saying my style is better or this or that. And it's really, sometimes it's sickening to see or even read.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been at long enough, Justin, to know that I'm not going to sit here and say Ida-Ru is the best martial art you can possibly learn. It is versatile. It teaches all the differentials of all the arts put together, including weapons. However, it depends on you how good you make it. Like I said, there has been some exceptional martial artists that are famous now. And what they did, whether it was Taekwondo, Tong Soo Do, Ishinru, Kempo, or Kung Fu, or Jiu-Jitsu, or Judo, it's the individual that makes the exception to the rule. How good do you want to be? And the next question they're going to ask you is, well, what art do you come from?
Yeah.
They don't ask you that first. They go, man, you're such a great martial artist. The second question will be, what did you study? Now, keep that in mind. That's what makes the difference. See, that does not make that art superior to all other arts.
Yeah.
Period. It's just that simple. There is no one art better than the other. I can teach you my art, and you can tell me I'm going to do the best I can from the way you teach me, because I'm just that athletic. And I'm going to study it the way you've taught me, and I'm going to be superior at what I'm going to do, and they end up famous, like in Tong Soo Do or Taekwondo or whatever the art.
Yeah.
And they jump into the movies and all this stuff, and they become famous. Just because they jumped into the movies and they became famous and they were able to do all the flying kicks and choreographed stuff that they're required to do, doesn't mean that their art is superior. That's bullcrap. That's propaganda, and it's not real. You know, it's the person. How good do you want to be? How good do you want to take this? Does it really have to do with your art that you studied, or is it you, the person, that made it that way? So kind of look at it that way, because that's what it really comes down to. It has nothing to do with a particular art.
You are so knowledgeable. You need to start writing a bunch of books about this stuff and really get it out there, in my opinion.
I've been told that so many times. I mean, I'm not a writer, but the point I'm trying to make is I know what's out there. I've been around too long. I've studied 5 or 6 martial arts and stuff like that, but the point I'm trying to make is I thank you for that, pat on the back. But there is no such thing as a dominant martial art, or everybody will be studying it. Think about it.
Yeah,
that's why when you get to be my age, you learn the difference. You just learn the difference that, you've taught this all your life. You taught it to your best ability, but that doesn't mean your art's better than the next person's. It depends on the person that studies it.
Exactly. And the thing is, if one martial art was better than the other, then that would be the only thing that would be offered to that person.
Exactly. That would be the only martial art out there, and you would be expected to be as good as that leader.
Yeah.
And you can see this. There are hundreds of martial arts in the world, and there are superior martial artists, singular, from every art out there. Judo, Aikido, karate, whatever. Even look at Steven Seagal. And I don't knock him. I like the guy. He's not primarily Aikido. Watch his movies and see if you can't see the difference. There are no kicks in Aikido. I'm sorry. He's using several different mixtures of martial arts that he studied in his films. And he knows it. And I have nothing against him because I like the guy. So I'm just trying to be blunt. There is no one martial art better than the other, period.
Exactly.
If you get anybody on there that says that, you better question
it. Exactly. And I mean, I've seen some wonderful things within the martial arts, but I've seen some terrible things in the martial arts, and it honestly breaks my heart at times. It really does. But before I start wrapping things up here, I actually I wanted to get your thoughts on what's next for you. I mean, like you said, you may not write a book, but do you have any upcoming projects, or will you be doing anything? And another thing too, really quick, as far as your students goes, what kind of nutrition do you encourage for your teaching?
Well, I mean, like I said, I think I told you earlier that I've actually done amateur bodybuilding, which, got me into the best physical shape I've ever been in my life. I actually have pictures to prove that. I've actually won contests, amateur bodybuilding contests, but I did it to prove something to myself, not to show off or whatever. But see, I would teach martial arts at night, and I would bodybuild during the day, and I would learn nutrition. I've actually gone to massage school and learned anatomy and physiology and nutrition and how the body breaks down proteins and carbohydrates in the body, and how it works all together, how the sequence works, how you make your body, use all the energy. Carbohydrates are energy. Let's put it that way. Proteins are the building blocks of muscular absorption in the body, but carbohydrates are the actual fuel to the body. So what happens is if you put in less carbohydrates and you train just as hard as you can, whether it be in the dojo or dojang or the gym, you're going to burn off more than you take in, which is going to make the body use fat that's stored in the body for energy. That's what that is. All that fat stored in your body is nothing but stored up energy that you didn't burn off. That's all it is. I used to do this stuff for a living during the day and then teach martial arts at night. So I know what I'm talking about. Used to do it for the actual military also, so they all know me about this. So I used to write in their base paper about this stuff. So it was something that they valued my opinion on, and you were actually able to listen to it. And if you listen to it, I've trained 4 first-place champions in bodybuilding, and I've trained some first-place champions in martial arts.
Oh,
So
wow.
the point of it is, listen to the instructor, know that he's been there, done that,
Yeah.
and follow what he says, do what he says, and you'll go from there. You know, so
that makes a lot of sense, sir. That does. I tell you,
experience is priceless.
Yeah, I tell you, sir, I've had a blast this evening, and with that said, before I close out the show, how can my listeners contact you personally if they want some one-on-one time to discuss with you more in depth on some of these topics or your teachings, or just to say hey?
Well, I mean, I'm on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I'm known as Richard Hallman or Soke Hallman. They can contact me. It'll populate that way on Facebook. Also, I have a private email address. I'll give it to you in phonetics. It's Delta Tango Romeo Alpha November Echo Romeo 0001 at AOL.com. That's my email address. And then my phone number is 904-476-8578. I would prefer that you contact me by Facebook or email first.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you can use the phone number and send a text if you have any questions you want to ask me.
Absolutely. And if they need any more assistance than that, then they can come to me and say, how can I message Soke? And I can say, go here, and that way they can get in touch with you. And I got to tell you, brother, I've had a blast, and I want to thank you again for coming on the show. And I want to tell my listeners really, really quick to follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Justin Ray Harvey. And I really hope that we have another show with you, sir, because I just had a blast, and it just went by way, way too fast. And I'm sure we'll find out.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
We actually had a weather interruption again, so sorry about that, Justin. Everyone, I want you to know that Justin Harvey is exceptional. He does a great show, and he's a good friend of mine. And anything you need to know about me or him, just contact him at his given information that he put out, and he can always direct you towards me if you need anything from me. So God bless you all, and let me know if I can help anyone. I'm always there for you.
Thank you, sir. And with that said, I'm going to end it right there because that's perfect. And I'm going to say thank you for listening, and good night. And we will have another episode of World Martial Arts Radio Network here soon. Take care, everybody.